Jane, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a long time since you and I have been back and forth.
Oh, yeah, a few months, but I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I've been on your podcast. Now you're on mine.
Exactly. It's nice to spread all of the, spread our wings to make sure we can reach as many people as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Well, your energy is fantastic. And I think that not only your energy, but your background and experience is going to be very, very popular on this show because you're talking to a
I
bunch of
hope,
cabinet
I hope so.
makers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because we all want to learn to be better organized. All of these projects with their intersecting timelines, are going to get in the way. Let me do this, Jane. Jane, who the heck are you? And why would you be speaking to this worldwide group of cabinet makers and architectural millworkers and furniture makers all around the world?
Well, it's interesting because I feel for everybody listening to this podcast. As I worked in construction for over a decade, I worked in for Lafarge and then Wholesome, one of the largest concrete companies in the world, or cement as well. And so I dealt a lot in construction, and that was after I finished my schooling, and I worked in insurance first, and then did construction. And I worked at a variety of places in plants. I managed plants in Vancouver, in Edmonton, concrete pipe plants, and then I went to Europe and did process consulting on how to make their businesses profitable, concrete plants specifically. But in
Wow.
that time, I met a lot of, project managers. I worked with engineers, especially in Edmonton when I worked at the concrete pipe plant. I was constantly dealing with a lot of different trades, and it is so challenging. And especially, I found there's not a lot of technology or software to help keep them organized.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting job. So that's why I'm really passionate, especially about your kind of demographic, because I don't get to talk anymore to the construction industry as much as I would like to.
Well, that's all we talk to here. So maybe by popular demand, hey folks, if you want to hear Jane again, let me know. We'll bring you back. But what's funny is the business owners here a lot of them start from scratch, or they start in a family business, or they start in a partnership and they grow this business. But that doesn't mean they went to school for project management. And by the way, neither does going to school for project management mean that it translates to real life either.
Exactly.
Yeah. So actually, our topic today is organize the back end and reduce the overwhelm. And I suppose by back end, you mean the office, not the jeans pockets.
Yes, just the office.
The office. But so maybe walk us through some of the things that you've observed and some of the things that you teach people on organizing the back end of their office to, we don't have MBAs in project management, but what do we need to know to make it better?
So yeah, as I was saying, when I worked there, I was really, I became to understand the entrepreneurial side, and I felt I really was helping, large organizations. And then I'd worked for smaller concrete plants, and I really liked helping smaller businesses and people, because that's, I didn't really care to make shareholders more money of big corporations. So that's why I started Organized Jane. I wanted to help small business owners and make it simple. And I found in corporate, everything was too complicated, and, you don't need an MBA to do the basics. And that's why I really wanted to help who I wanted to help. And that's why with Organized Jane, I primarily help small business owners with my 6 steps to help organize the back end of your business. And I say you already have to have a business to, organize it. So first of all, you have to be making profits or have a product or service, which I know everybody listening usually does, and you are probably already overwhelmed. So that's why you're thinking, now I need to get better organized. So I have 6 steps. The first step is time management.
Okay, so let's do this in order here. So time management. Do you want to roll through all the 6 steps and then define them, or do you want to do them, tell me the step and then define it? How do you want to walk us through this?
I'll tell you the step and I'll define it so we remember the step.
Sure.
But I start with time management because often as entrepreneurs, we have to do so many things and we don't know if it's actually the right things that we're doing. So this is where I really take my clients through an exercise to say, okay, where are you spending your time? I want to talk to you about your business and your personal life, because I work with a lot of women too, and they're doing so much still in their personal life. They don't have time to work in their business, and for men too listening.
Yeah.
But I really want to look at both. And then we start to figure out, okay, what can be eliminated, automated, outsourced, maybe you need to hire, or, something that you can make it a bit more efficient. So this is where we start to see, okay, we go back to the step and say, where can we hire? Where's your future? Where are you actually spending your time before we can better organize it? So that's really the first step out of getting your business better organized.
Okay. So eliminate, automate, and outsource. Did you hear that noise in the background? Did you just hear the noise on my side in the background?
Yes.
Oh, that's a compressor venting. We have somebody.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I thought it was maybe my microphone. I was like, oh
No,
no.
no, if you thought it was, I bet you other people, another, a lot of other people on the line were checking their earphone going, well, how come I can hear my compressor venting? No. Sorry about that. So
No problem.
under time management, what can I eliminate? What can I automate? And what can I outsource?
Big things. And as often we, when you're getting to the stage of thinking that you need to get better organized, you're usually already overwhelmed. So now I really want to sit down and say, okay, this is why you're overwhelmed. You're spending X amount of time on this when you don't need to be, or maybe you should, but maybe somebody else can take that over. And this is, I'd say it's important to hire, but you need to be ready first and you have a process on who to hire. But let's start with looking at the specific tasks that people need to do or people need to hire out first. And that is shown in kind of your time management document.
Yeah. How do you, so a lot of people here are working on their time management. And I know that because I listen to them, I'm talking to them, I'm interviewing them, I'm answering emails. Where do you start? If you think I have a time management issue, can you give me a simple exercise that you might walk me through? What's one of the first exercises?
Well, the first exercise is I really need to know where you're spending your time. But the next exercise is really on, are you jumping from task to task? And I ask kind of a simple question. Do you find it difficult to finish tasks? Or do you find that it's taking you find you're spending all day doing emails and not getting anything done?
Yeah.
Another question I ask. And the third question I ask is, are you using some kind of time tracker?
Yeah.
So
what's that?
This is a time cube. I sell these on my website, Organized Jane.
That's so,
but they
so
really
nice.
are. You can use something else too, but these are just, I don't like your phone because I don't want to be distracted. But as a cabinet maker, when you are, sitting down at nighttime to really focus on your emails or focus on, quotes you're doing for the next day or the next couple of weeks, say, I'm going to only do that for 30 minutes. I'm only going to work on quotes. That's it. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to respond to an email. So really getting focus on the task at hand and we probably don't want to be on our computers that much, but there's some things that we need to do to get that done. Give yourself a time limit and you'll get it done faster with no distractions.
Yeah. So in general, would you say you're a fan of multitasking or single task? Like touch it once, get it done and forget it. Which one is your?
Typically, I like single tasks. However, we do need to multitask sometimes in our life, and it's a fact of life. So I'd say sometimes it's a good skill to have. But with certain things that really require your brain focus, like I say quotes or your accounting or things that you really need to be single task, and it'll take you longer if you aren't.
Yeah. So if you're reviewing your marketing data, or maybe your accountant just put together some bookkeeping info, it's better to just put aside 15 or 20 minutes. And just put the time in. The phone's going to ring. The emails are going to come in no matter what you're doing.
And it's going to take you longer. It states actually that if you switch tasks, it's going to take you 20 more minutes to get back into the mindset. So really just focus on that marketing report or that accounting report for those 20 minutes. And then you can handle the phone calls again. Or maybe there's somebody in your office that could take them for 20 minutes or something that can make you really focus on your task.
Yeah, I love it. Well, let's not get too far into time, although time management is so big. So it's its own thing.
It really is. And I can sit here all day and give you time management skills and et cetera. But the key is understanding first where you're spending your time, because you can't really get any help. It's just like you want to go on a diet or nutrition plan, but you first need to know what you're putting into your body. So where are you spending your time is the big one.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, what's number 2?
Okay, number 2 is really important because I call this operations and processes.
Okay.
And operations and processes, as a cabinet maker in the construction industry, a lot of our business is operationally focused. You're really doing the work, but you need to have a process written down for, how you're getting how you are getting your supplies or your work done from A to B. It has to be a step. So I actually get you to document all your processes, and I talk about the importance of doing that. And that's really the next step. And it's everything from your accounting process to your, actually how you're getting your services to your customers, and also how you're billing them, all of this, after customer support, whatever process you have, it should be documented.
Right. So a lot of people in this industry call those SOPs. Do you use that?
I use that term a lot. Yes.
Yeah. Some people don't know it. SOP stands for
standard operating procedures.
Yeah.
And in the construction industry, they're quite well known. I'd say a lot of people use that term. In other industries, they don't so much. So I just say processes a lot of times, but you should have a standard operating procedure for everything so that, if you're going to grow and you need to give that away to somebody, a task, here's the process. Or if you want to take a vacation, or if you're, onboarding new employees. Yeah, I know. What's that? Or if somebody wants to buy your business, or if you need funding, those are things that they're going to look for. They're going to say, what are your processes? Because they need to know that if they're going to take over the business.
Yeah. So I don't want to take away from one of your, the other 4 steps that you're going to tell us, but where should I be keeping my SOPs? Do they stay in a paper notebook? Do they stay on my hard drive? Do I put them on a Dropbox or a Google Drive? Like where should I keep these things?
So I'm one of simplicity, and in my course, I keep them on a shared Google Drive, like an Excel sheet, because I'm old school. I don't need it. You can get really complicated software to do this, but at the end of the day, all you need is an Excel document, or even point form on a notebook, but you want to be able to share it with people easily. So start with something super simple. Write down, accounting process, 10 steps. Order cabinets from supplier, 10 steps. Whatever it is, keep it simple.
Yeah, I love it. I agree with that too. Have it on a shared drive, because if my computer or laptop gets stolen, or drive over it with the truck, or the dog bites it or something, it's gone. My hard drive is gone. And
this is your business. Risk. This is your business way. This is we don't often think it's important, but it is so important. And if something were to happen to you, which I hope never does, but let's say, you can't work for a period of time and someone else is, they're going to need to know how to run your business as well. So it's so important to have these organized.
You just reminded me of a horrible story about the time our accounting computer got affected by flooding. And you would laugh, because we were on the 7th floor of a building. So you'd think, well, how did we get affected by flooding? But the fire system went off over the weekend, and the sprinkler was right above our accountant's computer, tower desktop, her desktop with the tower. And it just absolutely soaked the computer. And so just because you're not below grade or on the first floor, don't think you can't be subject to flooding or theft or fire. Have your information somewhere virtual.
Yep.
So you can gather something back. Yeah, we lost all of our accounting info. That made for such a fun, I would say, 2 months of lost.
Well, even if you're audited, that's going to be a problem, because that's really important documents to have on it.
Yeah. And the auditor doesn't like the dog ate my homework, or it got
no,
flooded.
they won't.
No, they
really will not care about that. Yeah. Oh, it's scary.
Yeah. Okay. So option process. Sorry, Jane. And let's go to number 3.
Well, number 3 is you've just mentioned it, and that's accounting.
Sorry.
No, it's perfect.
Just hold your hand up and tell me to be quiet if I'm.
You're ahead of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
So accounting is really important, and you probably the second step, you probably put down accounting process and started documenting it. But I like to go into this a bit deeper. And the reason is because a lot of the entrepreneurs, we didn't learn about accounting in school. There's no budgeting class. There's no taxes class. Even if you have an MBA, which I do, you took one accounting class. They didn't teach you how to do your taxes. It's nothing.
Yeah.
So I really go over the basics, and I do a course in there, but I also teach you how to digitize your receipts. I think everybody should have an app. And especially listening on this call, I would really recommend you also get an app for your mileage that automatically tracks for you. Download it. There's Everlance is one I'm using for mileage. For receipts, I use Neat, N-E-A-T. I'll leave the link. I'll send you the link as well. Because these are, when you're out and about and you're buying something, you want to just take a picture of that receipt and it uploads to your accounting software. You don't want to have, and if there is a flood, like you mentioned, it's all backed up in the cloud. So we really need to take advantage of our write-offs. And if we don't have the receipt, we can't do that. So accounting, having a system, maybe at every week, you're likely going to have to go through them or give them to your bookkeeper or whatever it is, but have a system in place.
Yeah. Are you a fan of how do I say this? In the world of getting organized, how soon should I have a bookkeeper? Because it's such finite work, and it's different than the work that we're doing building what we build. It's a totally different job. So
it is a totally different job.
Yeah.
But I'd say, and especially when you're just starting out, you actually need to know what you're spending your money on. And I think everybody has to know the bookkeeping process. So again, I would get an app and a software, especially when you're just starting out, and do it yourself. And everybody can do this. And I think it's just something that we have to learn until we can get a bookkeeper, because it's really hard to find a good bookkeeper after all too.
It is.
and
Yeah.
keep them. So you might even lose a bookkeeper and not have one for a while, and then you won't know how to keep track. So I would encourage everyone just to know how, and maybe then someone on your staff can also learn how, but just the basics of it's just record keeping. When you're building a cabinet too, you have to know how many pieces are going to be used to build that cabinet. You need to put in the receipts you've spent for that week and also what's come in, and it's not that difficult.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you. So far we've got time management, operations and process, accounting.
And the next one is HR, so human resources.
Okay.
And you've already mentioned you're ahead of the game too. You already mentioned.
Sorry, I'll stop talking. I'll stop talking. You're the guest.
No, this is great because it means my process actually makes sense.
A good test.
You're validating it.
Yeah, there you go.
But the HR process is really important because, maybe in the first segment in time management, you already identified some tasks that you shouldn't be doing or some things you're spending too much time on. So this is really where we build out your current organizational chart and your future one. So really a bookkeeper could be on there for the future because you know how, but now you don't have enough time. So you're going to outsource that. So this is really where we can see your two organizational charts for now and for growth. And again, you need these for, investors, business sales, for your own onboarding, for your own, just to keep your own mind organized.
That's right. Just to keep things organized. Yeah. Yeah.
Just to say, you know what, John can do this job and this job, and then see it's a really nice way to see who can do what and keep your business in a nice overview kind of diagram.
Going back a little bit to time management, just as I'm thinking about all of these things, the people that you work with, I'm just going to ask, this is something I do, and I wonder if you do it as well, but I encourage people to say, look, Monday morning, don't go to the office first, go to a coffee shop, take your book and a piece of paper and just write out your top goals, draw your org chart, make your to-do list. Do you encourage things like that as well, or am I way off base?
No, I really like that idea. I might take it. No, I don't tell them to go to a coffee shop, but I do say, I say Tuesdays for my clients because I show up live for my clients every Tuesday. And that's when I say, this is your day to get, relook at your processes, relook at everything we've done through. So I call it kind of a Tuesday and organizing day, but Monday's also a good day because you're just starting. But I like that idea.
Well, I actually tell people to do it every day in the morning. Okay. It only takes, it takes such a short amount of time for the returns that you get to write out affirmations and goals. Yes. And people that listen to the show have heard me talk about this before. It's just a really quick list of, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. And then along with those, these are the goals. These are the things I need to accomplish today. So one of them might be, if I'm here to educate and inform my audience, better call Jane. And that should actually be your domain name, Better Call Jane. I know you're organized, Jane.
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. But, I need to call Jane Stoller and get her on the show. That would be my action for today that supports me saying I educate, inform, and entertain my guests.
I like that. Do you have a certain time limit, or do you have like a certain book or a certain amount of tasks or anything?
I write the same thing. Who's doing the interview, Jane?
Oh, now I'm curious.
No. So I have, let's see here, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 things that I write every day. And those relate to the strategic plan that I did for my own business. The people who work with me one-on-one are laughing because this is exactly what I work with them on. But those 9 things get written every day. And then underneath that, as I'm writing them, then I have my actions that come from it. Because my goals remind me of what action I need to take today for the most impact.
Yeah, so I like that. And with my clients too, they'll laugh too if they're listening, because I always say, have your 4 priorities, no more than 4, that run your business. And those are the ones every day that your tasks should support. Yeah. And we can't have a million priorities in a day. We have to I have 4 every single day that I do. All my tasks relate to it.
That's right. Yeah. A beagle can only chase one bunny at a time. Right? It's true.
My dog tried to chase them all, but he can't get them.
He can't do it. Yeah. Okay, we were on HR. You're talking about processes that you're speaking of. So drawing a current and future organizational chart. Yep. Wow, is that ever a great exercise for people to draw what a future org chart looks like?
Yes.
Such a big deal.
It's kind of fun too, because a lot of my alumni clients will go back and be like, oh my gosh, this is actually what it looks like. Or some of them had radical business changes and we have to update it. So it's not perfect. Just, it's nice to have that picture and then update it as you need it.
Right. Okay. All right. I feel like I'm holding you up on your list. What's number 5?
No, number 5 is pretty fun. It's marketing and sales.
Of course.
And that is a big one because a lot of my clients struggle with content creation, social media. I'm not sure the cabinet maker so much, but maybe they do. Oh, they do struggle with that. Okay, this is good.
Yeah. Like having a website, having a relevant website, a website that's more than just an online brochure. How to do local search, how to get the right kind of clients that line up with the kind of work you do in your shop.
Yeah.
Other than that, no.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah.
So it's everything, like you mentioned, website, SEO, social media, and we're often overwhelmed by it. So in my course, I talk about having first you need one sales funnel, and that should be something that you're offering to get capturing emails and leads. It doesn't have to be complicated, but I give an example of one they can use in my course. But something, for example, mine is a PDF that goes to a webinar that goes to book a call. For a cabinet maker, could be something else.
Yeah, I've got something, right?
Yes.
And we've talked about this on the show before. So Jane, first, can you tell us what a funnel is so that it's not me saying it, and then you can just give us that picture? What's a funnel when we talk about marketing?
So just like, when you picture a funnel, but really you want to take those leads that are just finding you, we call them cold leads, and you want to bring them into kind of a sales process. And so they become warmer and then hot and eventually contact you and become a client. So that's what I describe as a sales funnel. And it's just a nifty way to have a few things to keep clients interested or potential clients. They go from one step to the next step, and then they're really hooked on your content. I know you have some good funnels in your business.
I do use funnels, but aside from my business, what I try to educate cabinet makers on, and this really relates more to residential cabinetry. So new or renovation cabinetry, not so much the commercial side, although this could be used with furniture makers, but it's something called a space planner guide. So if I have tools on my website and somebody comes, let's say they're going to look for Anytown USA cabinet making, and they come to my website, it says, hey, download your free space planner guide. It'll show you how to plan your new kitchen or your bathroom renovation, whatever. So somebody would download that and say, well, okay, here's a free tool. I can find some value. So they download it for free. And now some people listening are saying, well, why are you giving it away for free? Jane, what am I actually getting in return?
Email address. And that's really gold. And social media too, Facebook could just go away tomorrow, all of that stuff. So emails, I don't think emails will ever go away. Who knows? But right now, email is still your golden nugget.
That's right. And so people then download that from your website, as you said, and then they move through the funnel. Now they're seeing more of my information. I've got some respectful information that's going back to them about here's how kitchen renovations are done in my town, USA. And people see that, and before they know it, I'm the only choice. Exactly. And so that's how a funnel, as you were talking about, I think that's how a funnel works.
Oh, exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a super simple funnel, or just, even just free download. Here's your email for now. And that's all you need to have to set up. And I find that's more important than really anything at this point, just to get that set up and sharing the link everywhere and it be your main kind of source of marketing.
Right. So be organized on your marketing and sales. What about on the sales side? What do you like people to do to organize their sales? Because there's a lot of gray area around that.
Yeah, that's again in the operational process in step 2. That's where I kind of start to work on sales with my clients and say, what's your sales process? How are you getting your product or service to the customer in the most efficient way possible? Yeah. And then we really go and eliminate steps that aren't needed. So for anyone listening, this is where I say, document your sales process. Is it the most efficient way? Even at the end, is your customer able to pay really fast and efficiently? Is there one link versus 2 links, 3 links? Your accounting, does it automatically send them something afterwards? Making it so simple and eliminating everything that else is complicated. So that's where I say the sales process should be super simple. Love
it. Yeah, I have a much more boring word for it. I call it the sales process flowchart. And it sounds boring, but it's gold. You just have to have a system. So we all are asking the same question inside the company. We're answering the same question to the customer the proper way. We're not making promises at the wrong point in the sales process. Yeah. And again, it depends on how big you are. Maybe you don't have any salespeople yet and you're doing it all as well. So again, or maybe you do have a large team, and that's when a lot of your points will come into play in terms of making sure we're consistency. But the simpler, the better, because the customer doesn't want as soon as there's a hiccup or they can't, find something or, get an answer, might go somewhere else. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's number 6 in the Jane Stoller method of organizing yourself? The last part is really streamline and sustain. So we go back and we review them and we say, okay,
this is something you have to do. You can't just organize your business once. I'm very sorry. But it's just like, you can't just organize your closet or your software once.
Or you can't go to the gym once.
No, you have to keep it organized. So I say those sustain and streamline needs to be a quarterly least, or I even say monthly organizing meeting with yourself. So my clients even do it weekly on Tuesdays, and they get in the habit, and it just becomes part of their natural routine. But you really need to sustain those systems, keep those processes updated. As your time changes, you want to revisit your time management chart, because you'll say, I got rid of all this, I've outsourced this job. Now I have 3 more hours in a day. What are you going to do with those? So it always needs to be a constant sustainability and revisiting where you're at.
Oh, these are great. So 6 points. Let me just read them out and make sure I got them right.
Yeah.
So these are Jane Stoller's points for time management, for organizing the back end and reducing the overwhelm. Number 1, time management.
Yes.
Number 2, operations and process.
Yep.
Number 3, accounting. So much fun.
Oof. It is fun once you get to it, though.
It is. And we need it. The numbers is why we're here.
Yep.
Number 4 is HR.
Yep.
5 is marketing and sales.
Yeah.
And 6 is streamline and sustain.
Exactly. You got it. You passed.
I took all my notes. I took notes.
I hope anybody listening will take notes too, and let me know. Mm-hmm.
Well, and we have show notes as well. So people listening, you can also see this as a video. You can see Jane's smiling face on the video. And then there's show notes as well, which is a summary of everything we've talked about. Again, for time management, sometimes people just want to skim it and say, what did Jane say here or
exactly.
there? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this question. This is the legacy question. 2 generations from now. So what's 2 generations? A generation is 40 years. So 80 years from now. So it's 2021. So what's 2021 plus 80 years? 2061. So somewhere around.
I don't do math in public.
Sometime around. Yeah, I know. What did I just do to myself? 80. Let's just say 80 years from now.
Okay.
People look back, and in the world of time management and organization, what are they going to remember? What did you leave us with about time management and organization?
Well, I hope my brand will be one that is, my brand is a legacy brand. So I know that Organized Jane will really make an impact on the world. Mm-hmm. And it kind of like the Martha Stewart of organizing your business, in terms of, I want to make it fun. It's a brand everybody knows about, and people can actually go back and reference articles and documents and get help, from blogs and videos that actually make sense and help them get their businesses organized. We're all digital. So I really hope that the legacy lives on.
Yeah, that's to the year 2101, by the way. I did the math.
Oh, yeah. 2101. Okay, yeah.
That's weird to think that we're in 2 generations. It'll be the year 2101.
Yeah, but my business is a legacy business, and I know yours is too, listening. So we want to make sure we set it up, and somebody might buy my business, but I hope the principles still stay, and in your business as well. That's why I'm documenting my processes and getting everything organized.
Yeah, well, and for our listeners, for the audience, there's a really good chance that not their children are going to take it over, and then their grandchildren are going to take it over.
Oh, so
what are we leaving them for 80 years from now when they look back and say, Grandpa Rubino or Grandma Stoller, this is what she left me. This is what she built. This is our family's legacy. And that's why we have to do these things. I like what you said there about we have to go back and revisit this. No business is ever finished.
No, it's never. It's always, it's changing, adapting. You can't just do your accounting once and it's done. It's, once a week, you got to update it. So all of this is what you have to do as a business owner, and it might not be the most fun. Your passion is probably building the cabinets, but you need to do this. It's just a part of running a business.
Awesome. Jane, if somebody wants to find you in this big wide world, how do we find you? Who are you online? And if we want to learn more, how do we find you there?
Yeah. So my website is organizedjane.com. I'm most active on Instagram at Organized Jane. I also do have Facebook and Twitter, and all those will be down below. But really, I'm really active on, my website, emails, and Instagram, Organized Jane.
Great. I'm so happy I got you on the show.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. And I love this market you've done. I think you really hit a market that needs more support, especially because I worked in it and I know there's not a lot out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were even more specific than me. You did this for concrete plants. I did this for cabinet makers, architectural mill workers. And some people laugh at me. They're like, who? What do you talk to? It's a wonderful market. Great people who care about what they do and want to do a great job and are employing people.
And I think we're doing a disservice by not going to these markets, because they're the ones who are actually building a lot of things we need every single day. And the trades are so valuable and important. And often we don't put enough emphasis on that. So I think what you're doing is phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. This audience knows that what they build is important. It's the last
Oh,
thing people see before they go to bed, and the first
yeah,
thing they see when they wake up.
it is like,
How's
and
that for impact?
it's huge. Yeah,
Yeah,
really is. I think
awesome.
we don't put enough emphasis on that.
Well, Jane, thank you very much for joining me here. I think we might have to have you back again to talk about some other things, because you and I agree a lot on time management. And I like the fact that you've got international experience from Europe, throughout United States and Canada. So in the future, maybe we'll have you back, talk about it
Yeah.
again or in a different angle.
Yeah, I love bringing European tips over here too, because they're very efficient over there.
Are they ever? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the Germans. Oof.
All right, Jane, thank you very much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Bye.